So good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, your authentic self emerges part 3. So in the past 2 weeks, we've taken a deep and beautiful look at being who our souls came here to be by exploring the qualities of the authentic self that support us in arriving at our center, the place where we began, the place where we remember who we really are, one with the one. Holmes tells us in The Science of Mind, the eternal has placed itself at the center of our being. The discovery of this is the greatest discovery of the ages. And it is a discovery every single day, isn't it? That's what this journey through this human experience is all about. So we've been learning the language of spirit, which are the qualities of our authentic self. And I ran across some rules for being human recently that talk about our journey of discovering back to the center. And I wanted to share them with you. They come out of that brilliant, technological book called The Chicken Soup for the Soul. So rule number 1, you will receive a body. You may like it or you may hate it, but it will be yours for the entire period of this time around. Rule number 2, you will have the opportunities for discovery. You are enrolled in a full-time informal school called Life. Every day in the school, you will have the opportunity to discover something about yourself and the way life works. You may like the opportunities or you may think they are irrelevant and stupid, but you will always have them. Rule number 3, there are no mistakes, only opportunities for discovery. Discovering who you are is a process of trial and error. Experimentation, failed experiments are as much a part of the process as experiments that ultimately work. It's just as important to know what it is that you don't like as what you do like sometimes, right? Rule number 4, discovery opportunities are repeated until the discovery is made. Oh my goodness, is that an important one? You keep getting to do it over and over again until you finally get it, right? If you do not make the discovery from the opportunity presented, that's okay. It will simply come back around in different clothing with a big group of friends. Rule number 5, discovery opportunities don't end. Once you get one, you think, I've got it. No, there's more. There is no part of life that does not contain these opportunities. If you are still breathing, there is more to discover. Rule number 6, what you make of your life is up to you. You have all the tools and resources needed. What you do with them is up to you. The choice is yours. Rule number 7, your answers lie within you. The answers to life's questions lie inside of you. All you need to do is look, listen, and trust. Rule number 8, you will forget all of this. Rule number 9, here's a bonus. This is the one I've added here. You can remember all of it whenever you want. So remember that last rule, because that's the most important part. You can remember it whenever you want. In other words, T.S. Eliot wrote, the end of all of our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. And this month, we have explored, we have remembered, we have returned home to who we came here to be and to our authentic selves. To accomplish this, we've looked at 6 or 7 intrinsic qualities of the authentic self. Qualities that when we express them, we know we are connected with our authentic self, or qualities that when we focus on them, we have an intention to express them. We call our authentic self forth out from behind the masks that we tend to wear to hide. And last Sunday, we had a cliffhanger, right? We led all the way up to as to what the 7th intrinsic quality was of the authentic self. And I promised that I was going to share it this week, which I intend to do now. Can we have a drum roll, please? Right? Okay, so to introduce the final bring it all home intrinsic quality of the authentic self, I first want to share a story about a study that was done a number of years ago. There was a college professor that had a sociology class, his class, go to the Baltimore slums. And these slums were filled with poverty and violence, and kind of like today, really, but maybe it was worse back then, I'm not sure, to take the histories of 200 young boys. They were asked to write an evaluation of each boy's future, as what they were predicting, right? And in every case, the students wrote, he hasn't got a chance to make anything of himself. 25 years later, another sociology professor came across the earlier study. He was extremely curious to see how accurate those predictions were, so he had his students follow up on the project to see what had happened to these boys. They were able to track down 180 of the original 200 boys. Of the 180, 176 of them had pulled themselves out of the slums and had made something of their lives. In fact, they achieved more than ordinary success as lawyers, doctors, and businessmen. The professor was astounded and decided to look a little deeper to pursue the matter further. Fortunately, all of the men were in the area, and he was able to find them and to ask each one, "How do you account for your success?" In each case, the reply immediately came with deep feeling, "There was a teacher. There was a teacher." Well, this really piqued the professor's interest, so he set out to find this teacher. Fortunately, she was still alive, and she lived in the Baltimore area, so he sought her out and asked the old but extremely sharp lady what magic formula she'd used to pull these boys out of the slums and into successful achievement. The teacher's eyes sparkled and her lips broke into a gentle smile, and she said, "There is no magic formula. I just loved those boys. Just loved those boys." So yes, our seventh quality for the authentic self is love. Surprise, right? Isn't that the most wonderful authentic quality? Bertrand Russell, who was a brilliant mathematician and accomplished, although controversial, philosopher in the early 1900s, wrote, in The Impact of Science of Civilization, "The root of the matter is a very simple and old-fashioned thing, a thing so simple that I'm almost ashamed to mention it, for fear of the derisive smile with which wise cynics will greet my words. The thing I mean, please forgive me for mentioning it," this is back then, "please forgive me for mentioning it, is love, Christian love. If you feel this, you have a motive for existence, a guide for action, a reason for courage. And so what do you suppose he means by Christian love? The love that Jesus Christ, the Christ, had. The love that Jesus the Christ had. And what is one of the most beautiful teachings on love? Well, it's definitely another rule for living. What is the rule? Does anybody have an idea? The golden rule, right? Do unto others as we would have them do unto you. This thing, it isn't just found in the Christian doctrine. It's a version of it is found in all of the world's religions. And here are just a few. In Hinduism, do not to others which, if done to thee, would cause thee pain. This is the sum of duty. Okay? Buddhism, hurt not others in ways you would yourself find hurtful. Islam, no one is a believer unless he desires for his brother what he desires for himself. Wow. Judaism, thou not take vengeance, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. Wow. And here's the deal. Our authentic selves are direct descendants of unconditional love. Dennis Merritt Jones, in his book, Your Redefining Moments, Becoming Who You Were Born to Be, writes, "When we strip away the many masks we wear, at the core of who we really are, we shall find the essence of love in its purest state. It is unconditioned because it is without form. Love was and is the initiating spark of life, the alpha and the omega, and everything in between those 2 points. It permeates, animates, and sustains all living things, holding itself back from none, judging no one or no thing. The authentic self is love because it is the microcosm of the great macrocosm, the original self. Infinite intelligence, being, presence, call it what you choose. It is the highest vibration. Unconditional love is the glue that holds all that is together and exists beyond all conditions. Most important, love has selflessly individuated and imbued itself within us at the point we call the authentic self. We are each filters through which love flows without condition. And it is we who, at the level of our own consciousness, our belief system, shape and direct how love manifests in our life. Think about this. If your authentic self is the direct descendant of unconditional love, then that makes you the perfect delivery system for love on this planet. We are the way that Spirit loves in this realm where we are right now. What is required is that we turn love, a noun, into love, a verb. that we actively engage in love. Love for self and love for others. Here's a great story about actively engaging in love for self. And you may remember it because I've shared it before, but it's baseball season and it really fits, so I'm going to share it again. So there was a little boy, and he was overheard talking to himself as he strode through the backyard with his baseball cap in place and toting a bat and a ball. And he says, "I am the greatest baseball player in the world." And then he tossed the ball up and he swung and he missed. Undaunted, he picked up the ball and threw it in the air, and he said to himself, "I am the greatest baseball player in the world." And he swung and he missed. Whew. He paused for a moment to examine the bat and ball carefully. Then once again, he threw the ball up into the air and said with great conviction, "I am the greatest baseball player who ever lived." He swung the bat hard, and again, he missed the ball. "Wow," he explained, "what a pitcher." How quickly can we turn and do that with ourselves, right? That was a beautiful moment of self-love. Wow. Can you have moments like that with yourself? Can you have a moment where something didn't turn out, but you turn it around immediately? Can you have moments like that with one another? Now, there's a challenge sometimes. If so, you will be living more fully and more completely into and from your authentic self, the self that you came here to be. And when we, as Ernest Holmes said, let love point the way, then that is when we have returned home, and we will know it deeply and powerfully for the very first time. So let's take a moment. This is the exciting part where we get to review all of the 7 intrinsic qualities of the authentic self. So number 1 is wholeness. Remembering we are connected to the whole, connected to everyone and everything. Remembering that we are whole and therefore complete, just as the way we are, warts, wrinkles, and all. Number 2, reverence. Recognizing the presence of life within all and honoring it as sacred. Not just the people we like, everyone, all life. Reverence. Number 3, fearlessness. Facing life fearlessly because I know that I am one with God, or is slightly modified from a quote from the Course in Miracles, if we knew who walked as us, there would be nothing to fear. Number 4, integrity. Leading our lives in such a way that we wouldn't be ashamed to sell our parrot to the town gossip. Humility. Being open to seeing different viewpoints, receptive to new understandings, not stuck in what our perceptions or interpretations of things are. Equanimity. Another word I just love. Having a balanced and even state of mind and not being whipped about by our human emotions, either negative or affirmative. It's staying more on that even keel, but making it a higher vibration. You don't have to stay low. You can be higher, but keep it at an even keel. Number 7, love. Finally, love. Remembering that your authentic self is the direct descendant of unconditional love, and that makes you the perfect delivery system for it here on this planet. All that is required is to turn love from the noun into love, the verb. With these 7 qualities, when they become our norm in our daily lives rather than the exception, we will know that we are living from our authentic selves. Use these statements to help you stay connected to your authentic selves. Say them after me, will you? Okay. I am whole.
I am whole.
I am complete.
I am complete.
I am one with the one.
I am one with the one.
I revere all life because it is part of the whole.
I revere all life because it's part of the whole.
And it is holy.
And it is holy.
I know who walks as me.
I know who walks as me.
So I am fearless.
So I am fearless.
My outer actions reflect my inner wholeness.
Reflect my inner wholeness.
In humility,
I
I am open and receptive to life.
am open and receptive to life.
I face all of life's conditions
I face all of life's conditions
with ease and grace.
with ease and grace.
I am the perfect delivery system for love.
I'm the perfect delivery system for God.
Okay, we're going to do that one more time, but we're going to do it with a little gusto, okay? Let's put some energy into this. I am whole.
I am whole.
I am complete.
I am complete.
I am one with the one.
I am one with the one.
I revere all life because it is part of the whole.
I revere all life because it is part of the whole.
And it is holy.
And it is holy.
I know who walks as me.
I know who walks as me.
So I am fearless.
I am fearless.
My outer actions
My outer actions
reflect my inner wholeness.
reflect my inner wholeness.
In humility,
In humility,
I am open and receptive to life.
I am open and receptive to life.
I face all of life's conditions
Face all of life's conditions
with ease and grace.
with ease and grace.
I am the perfect delivery system
I am the perfect delivery system
for love.
for love.
Okay.
Okay.
And so it is. And so it is.